Welcome to A Culture of Discovery, a presentation brought to you by Compass SLS and ILS, Part 1. What would you say are some important discoveries that have been made in our history? Gravity, chocolate, insulin, and penicillin, just to name a few. Where would we be without these discoveries? Just as many of these discoveries have made an impact on the world as we know it, we, the Compass community, intend to make discoveries about the people we support to have a positive impact on their lives. Now let's consider what is culture. Culture is the learned, shared understandings among a group of people about how to behave and what everything means. Let's look at some of the elements that make up a culture. Experience, beliefs, values, attitudes, hierarchies, structure, roles, and material objects and symbols. Culture, in its broadest sense, is cultivated behavior. Or, put another way, behavior through social learning. This picture shows a world full of cultures, highlighting that there are groups of people all over the world that have common experiences, beliefs, and values that are shared among their cultures. Yet, culture is not defined by race or ethnicity. As our definition of culture says, it is defined by learned, shared understandings among a group of people about how to behave. Let's look at this picture of college campus culture. This picture shows elements of values and attitude. It shows a shared value for teamwork and encourages positive attitudes toward working together. This picture says coffee culture. Have you ever thought about how many social behaviors revolve around drinking coffee? Even just considering the influence of Starbucks, you can see that coffee shops have become social hubs, a morning cup of coffee is a common routine, and having the Starbucks mug or gold status have become desirable to many. So, you can see culture can even be developed around a shared material object, such as coffee. This final picture displays technology culture. Different groups of people around the world communicate in different ways and have different values for when, how, and by what means communication occurs. Technology culture values quick, easy, accessible information. You may just think, this is the way I've grown up learning how to communicate. Phone, email, text, how is that culture? But that very thought defines technology culture as culture. Recall that culture is behavior through social learning. Now that you have explored some specific examples of various cultures, let's refocus and ask ourselves, why are we learning about culture? We are learning about culture because the aim of the Compass community is to have shared values, attitudes, understandings that position us to discover the treasure within our clients. Our aim is to have a culture of discovery. Now, discovery can occur in multiple ways. Discovery can be deliberate and intentional, or sudden and unexpected, otherwise known as serendipitous. And even though serendipity is a wonderful thing, meaning to find beauty without looking for it, or a pleasant surprise, our motivation is to be on the lookout, deliberately, intentionally, continually on the lookout. A culture of discovery is the practice and expectation to discover the person you are supporting. You could be discovering something for the first time or rediscovering something that was lost or hidden. You could be discovering someone's passions, what makes someone celebrate, someone's skills, or even what makes someone giggle uncontrollably. There is no end to what can be discovered or rediscovered within and about a person. While keeping in mind the ongoing pursuit of a culture of discovery, consider the meaning of person-centered planning. Person-centered planning is a discovery process used to search out and continually search out what is truly important to and about a person and what capacities and skills that individual possesses. In recent years, this concept of person-centered planning has become the standard expectation in providing the best quality services for people with developmental disabilities. Person-centered planning uses specific tools, activities, and structure to help identify and pursue the possibility in people's lives. Examples of structured tools include paths, maps, and essential lifestyle plans. Person-centered planning also involves at least the following core characteristics. First, a person is at the center. The process originates from an individual's perspective on his or her own life. The question to ask is, what is possible, rather than accepting present limitations? This mindset is radically optimistic. Person-centered planning considers all resources, especially those commonly overlooked or outside the service network. This thinking requires radical commitment to and cooperation from all participants in a given environment. In person-centered planning, the pursuit is for organic, evolutionary, experimental solutions. It is as much an art as it is a science. And it is vital that the plan is not the objective. Instead, meaningful, felt, tangible transformation is the objective. In addition to these core characteristics, person-centered planning also champions a different way of thinking on at least 3 levels. First, person-centered planning focuses on capacities instead of deficiencies. The focus is on a person as opposed to a disability, a diagnosis, or a problem. It seeks out inclusive participation built upon an individual's distinct skills, abilities, passions, and dreams. It resists the temptation to label and categorize based on challenges and instead dreams of how to better integrate each person's unique gifts. Secondly, person-centered planning champions thinking of ways to connect and support instead of fix. Instead of diagnosing and attempting to fix other people's problems, person-centered planning seeks to connect with what already works, find creative ways to lend support, identify areas of existing momentum, and rally reinforcements, instead of transferring our solutions to the lives of others. A third way of thinking is understanding the importance of community versus systems. Beth Mount discusses this concept in her video describing system-centered thinking versus person-centered thinking. Let's see what Beth has to share.
From the origin of person-centered planning, we were trying to understand and see what it looks like when we just fit people into systems and defined their needs and saw them through the eyes of what a system needs for a person to be in order to generate the funding that's required and to basically service them. And system-centered work tends to be based on a medical model which assumes something's wrong with people, and it's the system's job to fix them. And so the system is invested in defining them in terms of their deficiencies and creating a treatment plan, and then working to help people get it right before they get to be members and be whole people in the real world. So person-centered planning offers a major contrast to that, which is to say that people don't belong to systems. They belong to themselves, they belong to their families and their communities. And if we see them in a different light by the capacities that they bring, and we understand that their communities are the place where they can contribute and be citizens, then our thinking shifts dramatically from how to fit people into systems and service them there to how do we support people to live good lives in community, and then how do we take what we need from systems and services so that services are not bad, they just tend to be wired for their own purposes, for their own self-interest. So a good person-centered planning process calls into question the way we use services and invites us to really change the way most of our services are configured to be more responsive to the people and the way that they want to live in the communities that they're in.
Beth Mount gives a vivid picture of how person-centered planning focuses on the person in their community, not how a person fits in a system. People don't belong to systems. They belong to communities, and their communities belong to them. In contrast to merely checking people into outside supports, person-centered planning strives to make use of the resources already deposited in a given community. Our work is to mine out the gold in these communities and spread it around and share. Wow, now that is a lot of information we've covered in such a short time. We've come a long way from back when we first started talking about how chocolate was a life-changing discovery. So let's take a step back and look at the journey of a culture of discovery that we've traveled together. The overarching aim for our community at Compass is a culture of discovery. Now, to understand what this means, we need to understand the meaning of culture and the process of discovery. Culture is behavior through social learning, and discovery is a deliberate, ongoing search for treasure within and about a person. To be a part of Compass is to be a part of a group of people that share the value to intentionally search out treasures within our clients for their benefit. Each member of the Compass community is invited to value this mindset and practice of cultivating a culture of discovery in our daily work. With this mindset and pursuit, we can utilize the tools and concepts of person-centered planning. Person-centered planning is a discovery process used to search out what is truly important to and about a person and what capacities and skills an individual possesses. Let's review the core characteristics of person-centered planning. First, a person is at the center. It is radically optimistic. It considers all resources, requires radical commitment, pursues solutions, and focuses on felt, meaningful transformation. Which of these core characteristics inspire you to pursue a culture of discovery in your daily work? In addition to these core characteristics, person-centered planning champions a different way of thinking. First, it focuses on capacities and capabilities instead of deficiencies. It seeks to connect and support instead of fix, and understands the importance of community instead of trying to fit people into systems. Which of these ways of thinking do you want to champion in your mindset and your practices? If you choose to interact with the tools and concepts that we've learned about in a culture of discovery and person-centered planning, you will get to search and find the treasures within and about the people we serve to bring about meaningful, felt transformation in their lives. How has this training challenged you to search and find treasures within the people that you serve so you can see meaningful transformation in their lives? As a community, we are on a journey of a culture of discovery together. And the fascinating part about it is that when we've searched and found treasure within or about our clients, that we don't have to stop. We can yet again start out on another journey and adventure of discovering more and more treasure about the people that we serve. And as we journey, we'll remember that a culture of discovery is not about events or tools or requirements, but about the way we think and the way we use person-centered thinking daily in our work. If you would like to further develop these concepts and practices in your daily work, we have resources available for you. When you're finished watching this video, please click on the resources section found below the video on Compass Loves You. And don't forget, you can always find resources in the toolbox, which you can access through our Compass Loves You page. And one more thing before you go. To receive credit for this training, you'll need to click on the link below and take the quiz, which includes the 3 questions presented during this training. Thanks for joining us. See you next time for part 2.